Hi, everybody. My name's Ginger Newsom. I'm coming to you on Sunday night. I know the semester starts tomorrow morning, and I wanted to make a quick video to tell you a little bit about the course and introduce myself. So, like I said, my name is Ginger Newsom. This class is Math 125. I think the official name is Math for Science and Engineers, but we call it Pre-Cal. And this is strictly an online course. So I wanted to just go through some things with you, explain a little bit. Hopefully I won't talk too long, but just to kind of give you an overview since we're not meeting in person like a normal class. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through some things. Let me share. Okay, first, let's see. I'm pulling up Blackboard. Let me move this around. You can tell I've been playing around with it. Okay, so I pull up, when we pull up Blackboard, of course, first, this is, of course, the video that I'm recording now. And if you see your opening screen is the Welcome to Math 125. So hopefully you can read through that. It kind of explains all about the course, what I'm going to try to tell you. I'm sure I will miss a few things. But I wanted to tell you first, it'd be great for you to read the syllabus. The syllabus tells you things in detail, and it is posted right here down below. It's also posted over in the toolbar. Let's see, right here, syllabus and course calendar. Okay, so we'll read through that. I'll go through and highlight some of those points. And then second, we're going to sign up for our online software, which is Pearson. We also call it MyMathLab. This is where we're going to do all of our homework and take all of our tests. And this is the only thing that you're going to have to purchase. You're actually going to have to pay money for this. And it's the only thing. We'll talk about that in a section, but I will say you can purchase it straight online. But that's going to be the two main things you can do, because Pearson, we can go ahead and start working your homework when things start tomorrow. Okay, this is, like I said, this is the third point. It's an online hybrid class. So basically what that means is everything is online, but this year we have changed it to hybrid, where you actually have to go and test at one of the testing centers. But no longer are we going to video ourselves while we're testing through Respondus Monitor and things like that. Okay, we want you to go take it in person. So we have the Ole Miss campus. We call it DEDL, which is the Distance Education Learning. It's their testing lab. I think Distance Education Testing Lab. I think that's what it means. And you will use that for those people who are here in the Oxford campus or close. You can register on the campus and use it here. There are some remote locations like Grenada and DeSoto County and Tupelo, but you will need to use one of those places to go. That's what we're doing. We're not going to be recording ourselves online. Okay, so I wanted you to know that first thing before you go on and take this online class. Okay, let's see. This says a little more about things, but let me just start with, let me show you the calendar, okay? I think I already have it open. That's the syllabus. We'll do that too. Here's the calendar. Okay, so I have it worked out just in weeks. We're going to take week 1, week 2. How many are there? There is 16 weeks, and that's including spring break and final exams. So this calendar might be helpful if you want to download it or print it out, but you have it here on Blackboard. For example, week 1, when we start Monday, which is tomorrow morning, we're going to cover this week R5, R6, R7. Those are the 3 sections we're going to cover, or you'll be required to cover. The R stands for review, so hopefully a lot of this will be review for you. And some of the basic math, like factoring polynomials and some things like that. Okay, the way I have it set up is for every week, I make the homework for that week to be due the following Sunday night at midnight. Okay, and then we'll start the next week. So this will be due next Sunday night. And then on Monday morning, we start week 2, which will cover 1-1 through 1-6. Okay, that will be due the following Sunday. So on week 3, this is going to be our test week. So test week, we really don't do anything new, no new material. This is simply set aside for you to prepare for your test and to study and take your test. And since we're going to use the testing lab, you will need to schedule a time and make an appointment to take your test, and you need to do it before the day before. So, and I'll remind you definitely to do that. We're working on getting things set up with the distance education lab. But hopefully maybe this week or early next week, I'll make sure to remind you, you need to go ahead and schedule your time. But I have it set up where you can take it anytime starting on Tuesday through Friday. So you really have 4 days that you can choose to take it wherever it fits best into your schedule. So some of you might want to go ahead and take it on Tuesday, knock it out. Some of you might want to wait on Friday. I realize this is an online course that you might not be here on campus, just a regular student here on campus. You might be, working and living not in Oxford. So you might need to find a time to get to one of your regional campuses and locations. And so hopefully giving you 4 days will help you plan that out. Okay, so that'll be test 1. Everything will be strictly online. So your test you'll take online. The test will be very similar to your homework. They'll kind of all look the same, and you'll take it on Pearson. So if you go to the lab, you'll use, I guess, one of their computers on there to take your test. Okay, so if you notice, I've got it set up 2 weeks in a test, then 2 weeks in test 2, a week, 2 weeks in test 3, but spring break is in the middle of it, and then we have 5 tests and 5 tests. No, I'm sorry. Forget that. Sorry. We have 4 tests and a final exam. So after test 3, the first test, I should say, test 1, test 2, test 3 are all college algebra information. And then when we get to test 4, these last 3 weeks, it's trig. Okay, that's why we call it pre-cal. This really is a class to prepare those who have to go on to take calculus. It's just going back over some of the principal algebra topics that might help you entering into Cal 1 and Cal 2. And then in regular calculus, you need to be prepared that they may throw in some trig. So that's why we have that last test is all about trig. Okay, and it's just basics of trig, but that's basically it. Okay, so we get to test 4. That's right at the end. We'll have a whole week to review for the final exam. That's kind of an open week for you to prepare and study. And then our final exam will be sometime during final exam week, and that'll be Monday through Thursday. Of course, that's way in May, and I'll remind you as we get closer, you'll schedule a time to take it just like the others. Okay, so this is your calendar. Just letting you know, 4 major tests and a final exam. Okay, kind of important. Of the 4 major tests, I'm going to drop one of them. That doesn't include your final, so I'll drop one of the tests. Really important to know that there's no makeup tests for whatever reason. So the drop is not just if you did poorly on one. It really is if you had to miss one for some reason. You'll have to take that as your drop. There's absolutely no makeups. Okay. And then when you get to your final exam, the final exam is comprehensive. And it counts. So it counts twice. And yeah, so you can't drop it. Sadly, you can't, but it's a comprehensive exam. All right, so that's your calendar. Let's look quickly through the syllabus. The syllabus is kind of long, so I will just touch base little points on it, but you might want to read through it. Of course, here's my email. Here, please email me about anything. Since this is an online course, please email me if you ever have questions. If you're having problems on your homework, screenshot it if you want to. Send it to me if you're having problems with that. We can always hop on Zoom too. I can have office hours, set up a Zoom link for office hours. I really want to be available to help you in any way that we can. Okay. This is the course overview. Like I said, the homework will be covered in Pearson in MyMathLab. You'll work. Each section has a section of homework. At the end of the semester, I'll drop 1 or 2 of your lowest assignments, and your homework grade will end up adding up to count as much as a regular test grade. So it'll be 100 point test grade will be your homework. So there's really no reason for you not to do well on this. Make sure you get your homework done, because the problems on the test are similar to the homework problems. So you want to do your homework just to prepare for testing. And they're done on Pearson. I will say with Pearson, and we can talk about this when we get there, you pretty much get credit for what you do. If you don't work all of your problems, if you only work half of them, you'll have a 50%, a 50 on it. So you do get credit for what you work. After the due date, you can work the homework still that you haven't worked for half credit, and you have that until the end of the semester. But you need to get it done by the due date to get 100% full credit. But half credit's better than no credit. So. Okay, I just mentioned about the 4 tests. I'm going to drop one. Okay. And like I said, the whole DEDL, you see it right here, DEDL, that's the testing lab that we're going to use. So I really want to visit this pretty soon when you're starting this week, just to get an idea of everything. And I've got to still figure it out too. I haven't used it in a while, but I know there'll be a link, and I have it on Blackboard that you go to schedule your test. Sign up for a time to take your test. So it's something you'll need to do early enough, because a lot of times the lab will fill up and there's no time slots. So you want to get your spot fairly early, at least a week in advance, I would think. Okay, so just get a feel for what your class schedule is going to be like if you're taking other classes, or your work schedule, and kind of get an idea what might be a good time to schedule a time. Okay. All right. So that's the distance education. I'll try to give you more information on that as we get closer to testing time. Like I said, your final is comprehensive and it counts 200 points. You cannot drop your final. Okay. This is all the testing, what we were talking about. Like I said, real quick, there's regional campuses. There's a DeSoto County, a Grenada, a Boonville, and a Tupelo. Okay. So if you don't live in Oxford, maybe you live close to one of these remote sites that you could drive over and take. Okay. This is listing what test 1 covers. The calendar lists that also. Okay, tutoring available. There's free tutoring available. And since y'all are online, I'm sure there's some kind of Zoom, a chance to be able to hop on Zoom. I will update that, and in Blackboard, I have a link about tutoring, and I'll make sure that's updated for you. This is, I think this is the site that you go to that Robert, who's in charge of tutoring, keeps that updated for you. And I will put this also on Blackboard that you can go to there. All that case. Okay, so the final grades. Basically, we work on a plus-minus scale, so you can get an A- or a B+ or B-. Just letting you know, it's pretty basic. Like I said, there's 4 tests and a homework grade. Okay, so I'm going to drop one of the tests. So with the homework grade and your 3 highest tests, that's 400 points. Your final is going to count 200. That's 600 points. So if you were to get hundreds on everything, you'd have 600 points. That would be 100 average. And so this is kind of how we work it. This is the percentage range and the points. Because you don't really have to worry about that till the end of the semester, but this is kind of how it works. We did bump down the requirements for A and A- to help you. Normally an A is, I think, a 92 or 93. But we bumped it down. So to get an A, you have to have 90%. A- is 88, which is normally a B+. And so for those of you that need to get a B to move on to the next course, you have to have an 80%. All right. Class attendance. Basically, since it's an online course, I'm not going to really be taking attendance, but we do have to verify that you are in the class within the first a week or 2, and I will strictly go by this week. You need to be working actually actively on Pearson, working your homework problems, and I'll verify that you're part of the class if you've actually just gotten on and started working some homework assignments. Okay. All right. Academic needs. If you have student disabilities, I should hear or get an email from the student disability department. But you certainly can be in contact with me if there's extended time or something like that, and I'll work with you. Okay. Calculators. This is kind of important. A lot of you may not know this. Most of you are probably used to, through high school or whenever, probably a lot of you had graphing calculators. If not, you had scientific calculators. Well, in this class, we only allow a basic 4-function calculator. So if you notice, this is an example of one. You've got plus, minus, division. You do maybe have a square root, but you don't have, it's not like your normal calculator. Okay, it's a real basic one. When you take your test, they should supply you one. If you want to have one at home and buy one, you can find one, at the dollar store. They're not that expensive. But you, of course, on your homework, you can use whatever calculator you have. But just know, on the test, when you take the test, you will not be able to bring in a fancy calculator. Okay, you'll only be allowed a basic 4-function calculator. And one of the reasons is if you move on to calculus, they don't allow calculators at all. Okay, and that's such a change because most everybody in high school live by their calculator. And so you got to get used to doing things in your head or maybe even having to scribble it out and not relying too much on your calculator. Okay, just letting you know that. That's and I'll go back over that when it's testing time just to remind you. Cheating, the main things is, look, we just don't want to catch you cheating anyway. As far as online, there's not a whole lot I can do as far as that and taking tests. That's one of the reasons we're going back to going to the testing lab to take tests in person. It's just hard to monitor people when they're at home videoing themselves. So please, though, please don't let me catch you cheating in any way. That's an automatic F, and it's an unforgivable F. So it's very serious. I have to turn you in to the academic dishonesty committee at the school. So please don't make me do that. I would hate that. Okay. The drop date is March 10th. As we get closer, I'll remind you of that. I think we may have already maybe taken 2 tests by then. I think it's right before spring break, I think. So you'll kind of have an idea. And then the rest of this is just some, just school info. Okay, that's a quick run through of the syllabus, but please take your time to read through it carefully so you'll understand more. Okay, let me keep going. That was the syllabus and the calendar. Okay, so like I said, one of the first things you want to do is you want to sign up for Pearson, or MyMathLab. I call it both things, but this is your online software that you're going to do homework and take tests. So the directions are right here on this opening page on Blackboard. So to sign up for it, this is our class code, right? This is Newsome 63927. But actually, if you were to click this link right here, it'll take you straight to registering for it, and it'll put you in my class. It's pretty simple. They are going to ask you for money, okay? But let me tell you, if you're not sure you're going to stay in this class, you want to fill it out, you can get a temporary code for 14 days, and it's free. But after 14 days, it runs out, and then they'll make you, to continue on, you'll have to pay. But a lot of people choose to do that because once you sign up for it, you won't get your money back. So you've got the temporary. They'll give you, when you sign up for it and you get to the payment part, you can either choose a temporary code for free, or you can pay. They give you 2 options, a 24-month or an 18-week. I don't know exactly why they do this. I would suggest doing the 18-week. That's the semester. And honestly, the price may be a little higher than $70. This is kind of an old price, and it could be a little bit higher. The only reason you would do a 24-month is if you just really don't think you're going to pass this, and that way you might save a little money if you have to take it again. But hopefully nobody will have to do that. But that's up to you. I would choose the cheaper. This just basically 24-month gives you 2 semesters. So, but it's only for this class. So I want to keep that in mind. Like if you buy a 24-month, it doesn't mean that you'll be able to use this when you move to Cal 1. Okay, it's strictly for this class. Okay, so these are your directions. So first thing you want to do, sign up for MyMathLab, and you want to get on there and start looking at your homework and things like that. Okay, let's see what else. That's pretty much Yeah, look real quick, just over here on the side, the tab bar. Eventually, once we get past maybe a test or two, I might change it to where the announcement page comes up first when you open Blackboard. And any particular announcements that are important, I may put up there important information. I probably will have emailed it to you also, but it's good reference. Okay, so this is very important. So you can go, where do I start when I have with my work? I mean, Pearson is where I'm going to do my homework, and we'll look at that in a little bit. But where do I get my notes? What the material and everything. Right here, this tab that says Lessons, Weekly Assignments. This is what you're going to go to. So let me show you, for example. Now, please keep in mind, because I'm the teacher, I have all the weeks listed. But for you, I have it set for just week 1 to be there, and then week 2 will come up. So for you, you should only see week 1. Okay, this is that first week, and I've got the dates. Tells you what we're covering. So if you were to click on week 1, let me just show you what I have in here. I have a few things. So first of all, I have it separated into sections. And what I did is I have small videos right here. These are links to videos and I decided to do short videos instead of really long ones of how to do certain problems that are in the homework. So R5 is made up of 2 really kind of problems: rationalization and converting right here. So it's 2 separate videos that you can click on that shows you how to do it. Some of the videos I've done myself. Some of the videos I got on the internet. I did that a while back, and I really haven't updated it, but a lot of the videos are really good, so I've just used those. This is strictly for help for you to look at, okay? So that's R5. R6, this is about factoring and factoring polynomials. Like I will say, you're supposed to come into this course knowing how to factor polynomials, but it's a good review. That's why we call it R6, it's review. And these are some different examples of how to factor by grouping, different trial and error method, different ways that might help you. Okay, do you see that? So for each week, when you click on your week 1, I have it broken down into the sections that need to be covered. So for this week, we're covering R5, R6, and R7. Okay, now notice this at the very top. This says class notes. I want to be very careful because it's the web class. This is not ADA approved for the disabilities. But it is not vital for you. I mean, I don't always have this on here, but a lot of people have liked this. It's just another way to look at it. So I teach this class on campus in person, and these are the notes of what I go through in class. So example, let's see, R5. You might like to just see, if you're visual and you want to see it, this may help. This is in addition, it's just one other way to help in addition to the videos that I gave you. So these are the certain problems, and I have them worked out. So you can watch. This is what I do in class, okay? So a lot of people, it just depends. Some people really like that. Some people don't use that, So these are there just for an extra thing that you could possibly use. It's just supplemental. It's just to kind of piggyback on top of all of this, okay? Now, I do want to say also, look back over to the link to the tab. Right under lessons, there's the recorded Zoom sessions. Okay, I included this. This is back from COVID. It was 2 years ago, spring of 21, where we had to teach everything remotely. So I had an in-person class, but no longer was it in person. I had to teach on Zoom, and I recorded my classes. So that's why this is, if you watch this, it's definitely from spring of 2021, but it is me working through it on a document camera, as if you were sitting in class with me. So a lot of people like this too. These are just videos. You may choose to say, hey, I got to cover this. And it tells you see, January 21st, that was back from the spring. So don't let that throw you off, but it tells you what it covers. R6 and R7. R5, I think I didn't have the Zoom on that. I apologize on that one, but you can kind of break this down. And so that really, a lot of people in the past have said this has really helped because it's watching me work it out. Okay, so, and I have these for each test. Okay, once again, you can access those over here on the tab bar. Lessons is where you go to the material week by week, and then these are the recorded Zoom sessions if you want to look at those. Okay, this testing part right here, this is the testing information of scheduling a time to take your test in the DEDA lab. Okay, this is the test scheduler, but I'm gonna try to go and meet with them tomorrow during their office hours and just make sure I have everything down. And they probably don't have our tests in their computer yet for you to go ahead and schedule a time like in the next few days. So wait just a little bit before you actually try to schedule a time to take your test. And I want to make sure I have everything correct for you. But this is where you can go. And these are how you can contact the other DeSoto, Tupelo, and Boonville. Okay. We'll revisit this as we get closer to testing. So it's over there. Okay, my contact hours, like I said, yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. The school asked me to do that. It's probably a little more information than I normally give, but we do have office hours on Zoom, a link that we can always hop on Zoom and work problems if you need it. So, okay, what else? This is the tutoring right there. I think I have it where it's not showing. I'm going to update that. And this is the calculator. Okay, so that's pretty much Blackboard. I know I'm talking once again. I say I'm not going to talk too long. I feel like I have, but I hope that makes sense as far as how do you start this morning or today when you're wanting to start. You'll get in here lessons right here, weekly assignments, and that gives you an idea of what we're covering. Okay. This is where you'll see your notes and videos and all of that. But when you want to actually work your problems, you're going to go to Pearson. Okay, so that makes sense. You have Blackboard, which has all your information and videos. Pearson is strictly for working homework and taking tests. Okay, so let's go to Pearson real quick and we'll finish off with that. Okay, so if you sign up for Pearson, it is MyMathLab. Let's see. So you might want to bookmark this because you will go to it a good bit. I should have logged in. So if I sign, you'll have to set up an account. If you already have a Pearson account, then you can use the Pearson account you have, but they do want you to use your Ole Miss email. So once you have that, now, of course, mine looks a little different because I have a ton of classes, right? But let's see. This is ours right here, Math 125 online hybrid. Okay. Looks like I have 2 people enrolled already. A little early. So here is Pearson. It looks a tad bit different because mine's the instructor course. Okay, so if you look over here on the left, there's an Instructor Gradebook and Assignment Manager. That obviously is just mine. You won't have that, but that's where I can go look at your stuff. Then you'll have assignments. Right now, I have it set to where your homework assignments don't show up until tomorrow. So if you logged in tonight on Sunday, you probably won't see this till Mondays, but for those people who logged in and signed up for it on Sunday, there's nothing there. Okay, I have it set up to start showing on Monday. Okay, and let me show you. Here's my assignment manager. I'll kind of show you how it works. We'll start with the test 1 material. That'll all appear, all of your test 1 homework that you'll have to cover over the next 2 weeks. So look, you have R5, R6, R7. That's the first week, right? And it says over here it's due on the 29th, which is next Sunday. This is Sunday. Yeah, this is Sunday. If you watch this, this is Sunday before the first day of school. So the 29th will be the following Sunday. And then you have, look, for R11, 17, 14, 16. That's next week's. Okay, it's due on the 5th. The following Sunday. I have a review assignment. The review is not for any credit, but it is just a way to prepare for your test. It's a good thing to work through when it comes time. Really, that test week is a good time to do that because you have all week to prepare for that. And this is where you'll go test 1. You won't see test 1 until it's the week of test 1, but this is where you'll go to take your test. Okay. And I have it, of course, password protected. So you have to take it like at the lab, things like that. Okay. All right, let me show you real quick. Pearson is very simple. Basically, you get credit for the problems you work and no credit for the problems you don't work. So if I go to R5, normally you'll just click on R5. You'll go to, I think, assignments, and they'll show up. Okay, you'll click on it. For me, because I'm in the assignment manager, I do have to go over here. So this is not how you will access it. You'll be able to just click on it, just to kind of see what it looks like. They'll list the problems for you, which is nice. What's nice about Pearson is they give you 3 attempts at each problem to get it correct. So for these, you have the questions on the left listed. Let's see, there's 10 questions, right? If you click on test 1 and you work it, I'm going to answer them incorrectly just to show you. So you check it, incorrect. Try again. You get another chance to do it right. Check it. It's still wrong. You get a 3rd chance. And on the 3rd chance, if you get that incorrect, they give you an option. You can do a similar question, and then you get 3 more chances. It'll give you the answer and then a similar question. Or you can move on to the next one. What that means is there's no reason for you'll never run out of chances to get your question correct. So you ought to be able to get hundreds on everything. Work them all correctly. If you want to leave that one and go to the next question, you certainly can. So notice over here, there's a red X by question 1 because you don't have it correct. If you get the problem correct, it'll be a green check. You can skip around. I don't know if any of y'all have used Hawks, that college algebra uses, but it doesn't allow you to skip around. But on this one, you can skip around and work the problems, and hopefully you'll get all of them done. Okay, so it's very basic on how you work this. Most people don't have a hard time. If you're having any problems, just email me and let me know. But throughout the last few years, usually people have been great with it. So it should not be too hard to know. That's Pearson. Okay, so I think I've covered most things. I'm sure I've missed something. I'm sorry I talked too long. I always do. But hopefully this has helped. Looking forward to a great semester. Hope it's going to go well. Yeah, I guess you'll probably, for those watching this, will be watching it on the first day. So just dive in and start working on those first 3 sections. You have any problems with anything, please email, let me know. And I'll look forward to hearing from y'all. Okay? All righty. See y'all later. Bye-bye.